Hey guys, Big Hank here. Excuse me, just woke up, have a little bit of a cold going on. I just wanted to show put a little attention on the feet to show how they transform, how I kind of went about building it, and also the shoulder locks that I built. But what we have here is, his feet. Basically, I removed, if you saw in my post, the tutorial for removing and disassembling the feet, remove the toes, and then hinge them with styrene. This works just on a pivot hinge, but you still have the toe articulation of the original hinge. This has kind of a fold-away hinge, you can see, which gives him, this is two points of articulation, this is 2 points of articulation. This has the same deal, pivot and a hinge, 2 points of articulation. The fourth toe that I added has the actual toe tip can rotate. It's on a ball joint, and then it has a pivot hinge there for stowage in truck mode. When you want to transform them into truck mode, you'll just basically tuck them all away. What I'm going to do is keep this out of the way for now, and basically you can close it out. This is hard to do. I'm looking through the viewfinder, but I'm trying to do this by hand. You can close it up and you can see that it fits perfectly fine. Nothing gets in the way. This tucks completely flush. If I was to push this out of the way, you would see it would be completely flush with the other side of the truck, and it doesn't impede. This one will, let me fold this down, snug up like that and tuck in. As of now, I haven't done it, but I need to notch a section about right here, about that big. I'll notch it away for the actual toe to fit in. The toe was made from a poly cap from a random Gundam, which is right there, which I entrapped with a couple pieces of styrene, which you might be able to. A piece of styrene there, and a piece of styrene on the other side to allow it to do the pivoting. The socket just happens to be a perfect fit for a deluxe movie Scorpion upper leg segment, so I use that for a toe, plus it has that movie-ish look to it. And then this is just styrene build. This is styrene, and styrene. This toe was actually, when I cut and separated the toes, I removed this part entirely from that foot, and that is actually the part I used as this toe, because it kind of just looked right. The only thing I had to do, let me pull it off, is I added some styrene to it, and then drilled the hole out so that it'll fit on there. Okay, so basically that's it. When you go to transform, you just pull them out. What I like to do is pull them out and put his toes a little bit down, and then when you set him on the ground, when you actually set him down, it'll place his toes pretty much in perfect position, and then you can just put that fourth toe down. So that's it for that. The other thing I wanted to show is, alright guys, I'm going to show you the shoulder locks that I was mentioned and took pics of. Basically what we have is these and this. They're made from a brass disc, the same brass sheet stock I usually use to make my electronic contacts for my battery holders and stuff like that. I punched it out with a punch and die that I got from Harbor Freight, and I'll put a link up, maybe not in the video but in the post, so I'm not that advanced at this video stuff. I'll put a link up for that, and also you punch the disc out. You got to kind of estimate. I needed it. You want the inside dimension of that brass semicircle or hemisphere to be larger than the outside dimension of this gray socket. So what I did was I just eyeballed it. You know, your experience will tell you that. So I eyeballed it, and then I put it in a doming block. And what you're doing with a doming block is a doming block is like a cube with a bunch of hemispheres of various diameters dug out of it, and each hemisphere has a corresponding punch with a rounded spherical tip on it. And you just set the flat disc in one of those domes, one of those hemisphere indents, and then you tap it with the doming punch, and then you get that semicircle. There I drilled a hole in it. I used a number 18 wire nail, like 5/8 length. It's very standard. I use them everywhere. I use them on the toes on them. I use them on all my projects all the time. I used, give you an example, that little semicircle, that's the head of the number 18 wire nail, and I use it as the metal surface for the removable mask. There's the small 3mm magnet in it, and then it just clips on like that. So anyway, that's just to let you know they're pretty invaluable little things to have around. You can get a package of them for like 50 cents for like 100 of them, so they're good to have. Drill. Let me see if I can get a good angle. Drilled straight through. Let me see if I can get a better view here. Drilled with my pin vise. I use a hand drill called a pin vise for all my drilling. I don't use a Dremel and stuff like that. It's just I think the rotation sometimes makes you sputter off target and stuff like that. So basically I drilled straight through, and I drilled. Now a number 18 gauge is, like 1.4 millimeters, and I used like a 1.1 or 1.2 millimeter bit to drill through this, because you want all that friction to grab onto that nail and hold it in place and not slide out. And basically I did have to remove a little bit of the gray. Here, that's a good way to show you. The gray has that slash. There's like an open rectangular opening. I basically just cut a section of it off, and you got to kind of just feel that out. Cut less. You can always cut more, but that's to allow the cap to move in the way it needs to move. So we know that it's successful in. Let me turn you around. We know that it's successful in bot mode. I'm going to pull the arm down just for the sake of demonstration, and then we're going to get that stuff out of the way, and we're going to see that this is also, it's hard to do with one hand, it also works perfectly in truck mode. And let me see, you can see this is the reason you have to cut away. This is the reason you have to cut away a little bit of that gray so that this thing can move freely to where it needs to go. But the end result is really good. Oh my god, I got my camera in the way. You can tell I just woke up. I haven't had my 16 liters of Diet Coke yet. But what you get when you're done with it is, see if this is completely off the ground now. Can anybody do this with their shoulder joint on their Ironhide yet? Not yet. But I hope you all can soon. So it's really invaluable. And the reason I did that is I wouldn't have bothered. Alright, like I was saying before my memory card ran out on my thing. I wouldn't have bothered doing the whole shoulder cap thing, but my main goal was because I want to light up the turn signals. I want to light up the headlights on both sides, obviously. But I want to have them connected to a master switch that's also going to do some of the other stuff. And I didn't want to risk having, this become disconnected or pop off and have, this is still hard to do one-handed. I didn't want to have it pop off and have this, dangling from wires, and I didn't want to just have the battery and the switch and everything in each one to make a set of wires. I'd rather have this secured. Now I know I can sit and I can route my wires safely along this armature here, and then it won't have a chance of tearing out. So that was basically all I was going to say before my thing ran out. I was just started to edit the thing, and what I love most about I don't have a video camera anymore. It's just so outdated, it's crap. I'm using my regular digital camera for these videos, and one of the funny things that I've noticed on them is the condenser mic on them gives me an awesome lisp. So it's funny. I mean, my voice is already kind of wonky because of my cold, but the lisp is golden. So basically, there you go. So many mods on this going on right now. Removable battle mask. All the arm kibble has been moved into this new backpack, which still looks good. We got toe mods. We got shoulder caps, shoulder. I'm calling them shoulder locks. Someone else might have a better name for it. Double ball jointed neck. The only thing I would love to do, I don't think I'll do it because I'm just not that interested in doing it, is I would love to be able to widen the hips. I have an idea how I would do it, but I probably won't do it. Anyway, my battery's going to run out, so hope you found any of this informative and helpful. I do have links coming up on the post I'll put it on the links from Harbor Freight for the punch and die and the doming block set that I use in case anybody wants to swing by one and pick one up. They're not very expensive at all. Alright, catch you all later.